High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to Lincoln, January 12th, 6:45 p.m. Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Let's throw down right now.
See Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, The Street Profits, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, Carlito, and more. It's WWE's Friday Night SmackDown in Lincoln, January 12th. Tickets start at $25 and on sale now at Ticketmaster. The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Coach Brown is our guest. Coach Rule, give us your synopsis.
I look at Coach Rule, and there's a lot of things I like about him, man. And he has great respect for Coach Osborne. That's what I like. I think I really like his humility. He listens to people. He learns from other people still, and he's got remarkable intelligence, I think. I think he's got a really high level of intelligence. He's coached every position, and he's a great teacher to go along with it. I think the best teachers are the best learners.
Welcome in to the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 12-year NFL veteran.
He's got some speed to go with strength.
Huskers and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer.
Shovel pass to Green into Vikings territory. Finally brought down.
And University of Nebraska esports coach.
Green all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown. 98 yards and a Lambeau leap.
Here is your host, Ahman Green.
Ooh. What's up, Harrison? Welcome into the show. Welcome to the Ahman Green Show. I'm your host, Ahman Green. Got my man Harrison on the ones and twos all the way in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm here in, I'll say just outside of Houston, downtown Houston, Texas, at my house. So everything's going well. I need to shave a little bit. I'm looking a little rough. How you doing, Harrison?
Doing good. I'm sure we're doing a little cooler up here in Nebraska. Winter is truly starting to hit, it feels like. I think walking in is around 35, 33 degrees. Ooh. So winter is here. I'm sure you're doing a lot better in terms of weather down there in Houston.
Yeah, it was a nice day. What it is with winter here down south, where it's warmer during the summer, obviously, it mornings start off like in the 30s, in the 40s, and then every hour on the hour, it basically kicks up 5 to 10 degrees. So it started at 30. We ended it at like around, I think it felt like 60, 65, 70, maybe. It was still a little crisp in the air. Was able to get a little workout in. I've been fiending for a workout. So I went out in the garage, put some stuff together, and just like, hey, because it got a ton of boxes, kind of like what you see behind me is down in the garage too. Got a ton of boxes.
Walled up in there, like you got your own fortress going behind you.
I do. I kind of like it because it keeps the dogs out of here. Because it's like some boxes that you can't see that's over to my left. That kind of keep like it's almost like Indiana Jones is like a really small corridor that you gotta go sideways through like that. And the dogs, I got big dogs. They like, nah, we don't. That don't fit. I don't fit through that. So it helps that part. So yeah, I was like, I got to get a workout in. Got there, warmed up, did a little treadmill stuff, and then today was a yoga day, so I did some yoga. And my granddaughter that's with me, she jumped in as well. She was doing her 3-year-old yoga move. So that's about it. So yeah, good stuff going on here. But got some big stuff in the esports world. Got to talk about in the video game world. I'll say video game world. We'll kick it off with that. Is that E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo that's been around for 23 years, something that I told myself when I went to my first one back in 2009, I will go to this event for the rest of my life. That's how fun and variety of stuff that they have of the event in terms of entertainment and video games. I'm like, I will be at this. I'll make sure hell or high water, I'm going to be here. So the only thing that kept me away from there is COVID. So,
yeah, what's all that E3? Because I think a lot of people just associate it with video games, but what is all that E3?
So E3 is basically one person like me, a gamer's dream to go to because it's everything in the video game world that is there, and the whole culture is there of video game world. So anime is there in terms of video games and actors, voiceover actors, directors. The companies that make majority of the anime games are there. Then sports games are there. EA Sports, 2K Sports, they're there. And then all the other big companies that make the fun RPGs, like Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed series, to Riot with League of Legends, and now Valorant. Epic is there, Fortnite and Rocket League, and all the other small indie companies down from there. Microsoft is there with their big host of games. And so every summer in the first half of June, you basically have everybody in the video game space, in the business, converge on Los Angeles. And for that whole week, from like, usually it's like June 6th to 7th, the 13th or the 14th. And every day at the LA Convention Center, you'll see big booths of new games dropping, of new controllers, PCs, monitors, special controllers, and you'll have interviews being done on these big stages that are put out in the LA Convention Center from, voiceover actors, Hollywood actors that are in games, or a movie, a video game that's been turned into a movie, or vice versa, a movie turned into a video game. It's basically a who's who in the building in the Los Angeles convention area there, all in downtown Los Angeles. So I say a big event that is now gone. It's announced today that since COVID has been, it was canceled in COVID. Then 21, they kind of did a digital thing online where they had all the people, all the companies kind of do what they do in person, but did it online. And it was okay. Obviously, it's nothing better than the real thing. And then last year they canceled it. And then this past summer, they canceled it again. And then the rumor started filtering, like, is it going to be canceled forever? And now today, reading the article, it's all over the video game websites out there. So I'm on Kotaku right now. And it says E3, the video conference that has taken place annually in Los Angeles since 1995. So my freshman year, which I did not know that. So that was a good year. So the first line says, since 1995 is officially dead. So after several years of struggles and rumors of its demise, it ends with a confirmed in the Washington Post exclusive interview with the president, CEO of the Entertainment Software Association, Stanley Pierre Louis says. So Pierre Louis told the Washington Post that after then 2 decades of hosting an event that has served as a central showcase of the U.S. and global video game industry, E3 will be no more. So basically, out of a line like of a video game, it's like it's done. And so,
is there any chance? Does it say anything about it coming back in the possible future, or it's just
no? It's no chance. Like they did mention, it says this year's event was also canceled, and as were those for 2024 and 2025. So that then ignited rumors that it would never return. And then it was killed by companies reducing their presence at the event. So I could speak on that right there. So that's an interesting comment right there, because I remember at the 2019 E3, I'm at a booth. I went upstairs. They have like a whole bunch of different little compartments to the convention center, right?
Yeah,
and they have this.
I've seen pictures of it. It's huge. You probably get lost in that place if you wanted to.
Exactly. So I go upstairs, and it's like all the rooms that they have are like meeting rooms, small meeting rooms that companies rent out. So you got companies like Astro Gaming Headsets, HP, Alienware, Microsoft, Ubisoft, whoever, name a gaming company or a peripheral company, they're there. I'm sitting in the Astro Gaming room. 2 good things. I say 2. It was 2 good things and 1 bad thing out of this conversation. So the bad thing was, I'll lead with the bad stuff first, because we're already leading with it now, is that the guys that were the marketing directors and some higher up administrators with Astro Gaming Headset, which is a big headset company, basically said, you know what, man, they had I jumped in the conversation kind of halfway through the conversation. I said, what's up? They say, yeah, we're just talking about the fees that we have to pay as a company to come to E3. So there's convention floor fees. So if you want a 10 by 10 space, you're looking at somewhere between $100 to $200 per square foot. Whoa. Exactly. So
I'm just curious if you're like kind of one of those newer, say you're a newer company too, trying to make your way into E3. That's a big bill up front.
Big bill. So if you're an indie company where you're literally just starting up and you look up the areas 5 by 5, 10 by 10, 2,500 square feet to 7,500 square feet, you're like not even thinking. You'd be like, look, you know what? I'll just have my employees we'll walk through the convention center and just hand stuff out. And you had people do that. You had people do that. You had companies just walk around and hand stuff out people instead of buying space because it got expensive over the years. But part of the reason is that it's a nonprofit organization that runs the E3 event. That's what I just read here. I knew something I knew nonprofit was floating around there. So obviously, with everything going on in the world, as we know, just in the world in general, inflation has been rising since before you were born, and it's continued to rise. So paying the bills is priority for any company. So E3, even though it's a nonprofit, had to pay the bills and obviously raise the prices on these vendors. And we're talking about Microsoft, Activision, Microsoft Activision now because Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard, Epic. You're talking about Riot Gaming, EA Sports, Ubisoft, and on down the line. And some of these big producing companies, developers that have worked with Microsoft, like Raven Soft that makes Call of Duty, they partner with Activision Blizzard, and who also been bought by Microsoft. So for $70 billion this year. So so it's the money that's there that was like drawing in or drawing away people like Astro Gaming Headsets, Logitech Gaming, saying, look, we're not splitting that bill no more. So that's how the conversation ended. And the other fun thing from that conversation, which I haven't seen yet, I've been waiting as patiently as I possibly can, is that you remember the video game Def Jam Vendetta that came out?
Sounds really familiar. Maybe if I saw a trailer,
you might
count it, but I'm not sure.
Check out Trey. But I know I remember you're a young guy, so I gotta always remember that. I gotta remember that. So it was a game that came out in 2001. So what was you were born?
99 was when I was born.
Okay, so you were
just got in under 2000.
So you wouldn't have been crossing the game with this yet. You hadn't played this game yet, but it is out there. And it came out on PS2. And I bought it as soon as I heard, like I read the description. It said Def Jam Vendetta. I'm like, a Def Jam. Okay, that's a record company. What are they doing in the video game space? And so I read the synopsis, and it basically like had all the rappers that was on Def Jam Vendetta's label. So at that time was like Exhibit, Ludacris, Cameron, and a few other people, headbangers, Fat Joe, Big Pun, headbangers. So they put those rappers I just mentioned in the video game. So they were wrestlers. They were like MMA guys. They were kickboxing. They were, jiu-jitsu style and all this. So you could create the character. First, those actors, rappers were in the game, but then you could create your own character in the game. And so fun game. I played all the games they did. Def Jam Vendetta 1. Part 2, Fight for New York, was with Snoop Dogg was the villain. And then the last one was Def Jam Vendetta Icon, where I think Fat Joe and Big Pun were like part of the main plot. They always had a plot with the gaming side of it. It was a story RPG within it. You play the matches. You could do straight up 1-on-1, or you could do the story mode and play the game itself. And so I walk in the room with the same people that's having this conversation about E3 and it's too expensive, this, that, and the other. And I see a guy walk in with a Def Jam Vendetta Letterman's coat that has the logos on it from the video game. And I'm like, hey, you, don't you tell me that y'all got Def Jam Vendetta about to come back on the scene. He's like, yep. I'm like, oh, I'm like, dude, can I be first on the list to have my copy? I was like, oh my God. So we talked, we exchanged phone numbers. I got his name. I emailed him a couple years ago because of COVID. And I'm like, so where's he said the game would come out and then COVID hit. So I'm like, pretty sure it got delayed, obviously.
Yeah, just like everything else did.
100%. So I'm like, so all this time, I'm like, where's Def Jam Vendetta? Like, who's going to be in it? Like, current stable of Def Jam rappers, I don't know who they are. I just want to know, is it going to have that fun, nostalgic part of it where you had rappers, like you had Snoop Dogg kicking everybody's butt?
He can come back to that game too. He'd still be in the mix, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's now. I mean, so yeah, it started with him. Like he started in Def Jam Vendetta, and now he's in Call of Duty and Fortnite and everywhere else. Madden. He's on the.
UFC.
He's one of the. UFC, Matt. Yeah, he's doing it. So he's been doing it. That's the thing people don't realize. But that's how long this conversation. So that was 2019, and then boom, 2020 hit, and then the beginning of the end for E3. And I'm just like, man, I know a lot of people, companies, big companies to small companies that were involved that use that, they had their budget together to make sure they were there every year to advertise their new product coming out. And so this is going to hit the industry hard. I say more from the fan side of it, it's more nostalgic because this is a place where, like for myself, this is where one summer, me and my son went out there to play Madden. And I was like, I knew Madden was there, right? And I said, hey, we could go to the Madden booth. He was a junior in high school. I said, hey, we could go to the Madden booth, hang out. I know some of the guys, I don't know how long we could stay because sometimes they got a time limit on how long you could play in there. So we got to our room, checked in. We get over there and we're playing. We go in for the first round. And I see one of the guys that used to come to Green Bay to host the Packer little launch parties for us when Madden would come out every year when I was on the team. And he said, yeah, you go ahead. Y'all could take that booth right there. So we started playing Madden. And not kid you not, Harrison and chat, we got there like, let's see, the doors open at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard.
Yep.
We got to the booth we probably got there around 11:30 to the booth. We didn't get out the booth. It closes around 5 o'clock. We got out to that booth when it closed. They did not say a word. They let us play. We were playing all through the Madden Ultimate Team. We were playing all through the different games. And then we jumped on this is when NBA Live was still out, or NBA Live, EA Live was still out. And we jumped on the NBA game. We're playing everything. They just let it. I was like, Mark, do we have to leave? They was like, no. You good. Play. We spent the first day of E3 playing Madden and NBA Live. It was hilarious. It was so fun, though. So fun.
I hope you paid him for the full worth of the copy at the end of it. It sounds like you got your money's worth. They
definitely got money out of me. They got that part of me. But it was just moments like that where kids and parents, because you could demo a lot of the games there. I got some stories that I could kick to later on in this show because I know we got other stuff to talk about. But yeah, it was just hearing this, like, man. That's a whole another reason that I used to go to California, and now that's
out here. So where did the money dry up again? So it's a nonprofit. Obviously, the square footage is very expensive for a lot of these smaller companies if they're trying to space to get into. But is it just renting out the space where there just wasn't enough funding, or where was the funding insufficient where this whole thing just had to completely fizzle out?
I'm looking at it says, E3 organizers were promising a reinvent. So they were trying to reinvent the showcase over the last few years to bring it back. So I'm going to read more in this article between now and the first break here to find out what exactly it was. I know reading it earlier and then knowing what I know from, like I said, my friends that are in the industry are working at these companies that go out is they obviously a nonprofit running the E3. The price is getting raised on the spaces. So that tells me, just not reading the article, but going to get it done in a minute here. That tells me then all hands that were out there, most of those hands were volunteering, but some of them people probably had to get paid. And so that's where, charging a company to pay employees, some of them volunteers, because remember, this is a nonprofit, but some bills have to get paid, like the CEO, the people that run the everyday advertisement throughout the year, because it's 12 months.
It's a massive operation. I'd hope that's a huge operation to be completely nonprofit. That's like a 6 months of a free. You'd be doing a job for free for an entire year just trying to organize that whole thing.
Exactly. So having all the overhead for that, I'm pretty sure was not a small dime. That's a lot of big money, but it just like Comic-Con in San Diego. Again, it drives off of nostalgia of gamers, of companies that trying to bring the next big thing to a gamer and to a culture of gaming, and getting that understanding down. If you master it, then obviously you're like right now, Epic is killing the game. Activision Blizzard, now Microsoft, Activision Blizzard are killing the game. And I say killing the game because they understand the process. They understand, okay, we got a product. Let's just keep changing. Some of it's the same, but then some of it, we changed little details about it, like in Fortnite now, what they did, the big change. They got Lego Fortnite now. They didn't partner with Lego. And now,
Yeah, I saw those trailers just popping up yesterday. Is that maybe we have to talk about this later at some point?
We could talk. Yes, we sure can.
Feels like Epic Games is just taking over everything.
Domination.
Like every single trailer, I get to the end of it, and it's like, oh, there's Epic Games again. I guess they're in the bunch with these guys now too.
They got their own server, so just like Steam. So Steam is a PC game server that you can log in online for free, and you pay for the games that you download, and you pay anywhere from $5 to $25 or $60 for a PC game. Epic has that now. They've had that for actually at least 4 or 5 years. They have their own client. They have a Epic client that you download to your PC or maybe a handheld or a laptop, and you could upload other games. So they're partnered with, I think you could download stuff like Madden from there and 2K and Vampire Stories or Vampire Diaries or something like that, and other RPGs from other gaming companies like Assassin's Creed, and then on top of that, Rocket League and Fortnite. That's already there, along with their in-game transactions from the micro sales that they do with all the skins and all the big updates. Like I said, the biggest update right now to face is now they have not only Lego, where you could play as a Lego character in Fortnite. Fortnite also announced, or Epic also announced, that they have a racing game coming out with the Rocket League cars and the Fortnite characters that you have created or are in the game to drive, that you can use to drive the Rocket League car. So I'm like, genius. They killing it.
Those guys just sound like they're taking over. That might be
domination.
If you had to put your money on it, is that one of the big gaming companies of the future? Like, do you think what they're doing right now with it seems like a lot of free-to-play stuff with the subscription-based service, if you want a little bit of extra service in the game, a little bit of extra features that maybe you pay the subscription, with the model that they seem to be attacking everything, do you think that's going to be a prominent company for many years to come? Or do you think at some point maybe people kind of get tired of that pay subscription fee and rather have a full story game fleshed out instead of I'm just paying for decals on a character or a map or a skin, whatever it may be?
Well, I don't know if they're going to fizzle out. I'll say this. They're setting themselves up for the future. So they're planning ahead. They got that part mastered to where in the next 10 years, they can run on cruise control because they have so many areas of revenue coming in, not just from the game, but partnering with these companies. When we come off our first break, I'll jump in my Epic account server and show and talk about the games that they have partnerships with. Because if they're selling games from EA, Activision, Microsoft, any other developer out there, that means they partner with them. And so they're basically, there's a revenue share. I know it's a revenue share involved in there in some way, shape, or form. It's anywhere from 10% to 20% revenue share. So every time that game sell, Epic is getting 20%, 80% is going to Microsoft, is going to 2K Sports or something like that. So that's great business planning for Epic and the other companies too, because that means their games are being seen everywhere, not just at GameStop, not just at Best Buy, on the websites. It's at other clients that you could download. Riot has a client. Riot is more directed to the games they have, League of Legends, Valorant, and TFT, and a few others. But Epic client is basically like go to Best Buy. You'll have other games there. You won't just have Fortnite and Rocket League. It'll have a dozen other RPGs, a few other sports games, and keep you involved. So that's the biggest thing about business. Business, when you go, like I'm working for my MBA right now, and the way of a good business, they diversify, right? That's how you continue to stay relevant. That's how you continue to grow. And Epic has mastered that. They basically found out the meta, as we say in the gaming space, when we're researching the game and how to find the best way to win. That is the meta. They have it down pat with a few other companies, and they're partnering with these companies. So they're making it where, as a fan, there's no hope. There's no way in hell you're gonna not spend money on something. Excuse my language, because they got me. I remember, Michael, I told you this with Activision when Call of Duty downloaded Snoop Dogg on there. I was like, all right, you got me. I said, I'm definitely downloading Snoop Dogg. And just recently, trying to think, what was I playing? It was something either on Madden or Call of Duty again. I can't remember, but I do know this.
Big on the celebrities, getting celebrities somehow involved in the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was COD.
Yeah, it wasn't. I'll think about it. It'll pop back in my head. But what I do know, like I said, they're killing the game too. is when I'm playing Warzone and I had Nicki Minaj take me out. I'm like, hold up, Nicki Minaj? Let me know when she logs on. I want to know how much time she puts in on Call of Duty. Because if she's in this game, that tells me she plays Call of Duty. And I would not want to, if she does play, I would not want to be in her chat because I know she's a trash talker. I 100% know Nicki Minaj talks trash.
Hands down. There's no question on that one, regardless.
She talks trash in her music, so it's like, I know it's going to filter into Warzone or multiplayer. Oh, she going to be, I'm about to bust your head wide open, stuff like that. You suck. I'm like, oh, God, we got Nicki Minaj talking to me. I got to get off the game right now.
Yeah. It's just that era we're in. It's absolutely crazy. We do got to throw it to break here, but we did have Crowbit. He was asking if Bandana was on PS2. And he actually did his own research. He says, never mind PS2. I still have the original copy. So old school like you, got to have the physical copy. So shout out Crowbait. And again, if you guys want to tune in, 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line. We'll throw it to break here on the Ahman Green Show. I'm Harrison on the ones and twos. Ahman Green, host as always. We'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com.
We're bringing heaven to Lincoln with a waffle unlike anything you've ever experienced. Heavenly Waffles combines an incredibly fluffy recipe packed with protein and a medley of angelic toppings. To elevate the experience beyond your typical waffle and syrup, take the opportunity to try out this divine creation and pair it with a coffee from the mill as we celebrate Heavenly Waffles Wednesday from 8 to 11 a.m. at the 93.7 The Ticket Studio.
Stop by the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street this Wednesday, December 13th, to try some Heavenly Waffles. Parking available on 11th Street and in nearby garages.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
Gary with Gary Michaels Clothiers Lincoln. I'm here to tell you about our custom shirt program. When you come into the store, we measure your chest, mid-waist, and sleeve length. Enter the measurements in an app, and we create your data fit size. You then try on one of our 99 data fit shirts for the proper fit. After that, pick out the fabric, collar, cuff, placket, and in roughly 2 weeks, your shirts are delivered at the same cost of buying off the rack. And by the way, the neck fits too. Gary and Michael's Custom Shirts at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. And there are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
I'm Sergeant Jones with the Nebraska State Patrol. Driving drunk puts everyone on the road at risk. In Nebraska, over 30% of all roadway fatalities occur in alcohol-related crashes, and every one of those could have been prevented. The decision to give your keys to a sober driver could be the decision that prevents a roadway tragedy. Help keep Nebraska roads safe and always drive sober. This message is presented by the Nebraska State Patrol and the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
This is the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Ahman Green Show. I am Harrison Arns on the 1s and 2s. We got the host as always, Ahman Green, streaming in from Houston as he's back home for the holiday season. But nonetheless, we're talking a lot about the esports world. E3 coming to surprising news there. Couldn't quite recover from COVID. Unfortunately, they weren't the only company out there, only event going on that could recover from COVID. But nonetheless, Ahman Green, where do you want to go with this? We talked about Epic Games, what they possibly have in the future, how E3 came to dissolve, where the money kind of flatlined out for them. And of course, Husker football. It's been a constant conversation over here, as you can imagine.
Yeah. So let's wrap up some of this E3 talk and video game talk to get to Nebraska talk. And so I found the line where it talks about a little bit where the ending began in terms of finances. So it says here in the probably the third, fourth paragraph down, it says, now, however, it appears that the ESA efforts to reinvent the show were fruitless. So quoted, we know the entire industry, players and creators alike, have a lot of passion for E3, like I mentioned. So it says, we share that passion. Pierre Lewis told Washington Post, we know it's difficult to say goodbye to watch a beloved event, but it's the right time to do, given the new opportunities for our industry. It has to reach our fans. So right here is where he says the next line. It says, he confirmed that many have contributed to the end of the conference, saying that companies now have access to consumers to do business relations through a variety of means, including their own individual showcases. So as he's referring to that, PlayStation, they do PS Play at the same time as E3 during the same week sometimes. Microsoft does the Xbox, I forgot, like Showdown or show the Xbox show literally right next to the LA Convention Center in the Microsoft Theater that they built with their name tagged on it. They did that back in 2018.
Makes sense to do their work in there. Yeah.
Yeah. They build a stadium, a theater that they can use for other things. But then when they have E3, we'll just do our event right here and we'll introduce all our games, have people come out on the stage. They had Keanu Reeves come out the stage when they did the big Cyberpunk 2077 announcement back in 2019. So that was it. So now the company's having so many ways to skin a cat. That means sell to the consumers, us, websites, social media launches, in-person promotions, all that stuff is where E3 lost out, basically fighting a losing battle with the technology that's around. From the AI is out there now, right? People can use AI to develop different promotions, develop different artwork now. And so, and then I'm dealing with companies like Hi-Res with Epic to Microsoft to Ubisoft. Those companies are all partnering up with basically one another and going outside of saying, you know what, we're not going to advertise at E3 because we could do this on our own and save a little bit of money here and there. And everybody's in that business of saving money, especially a bigger company. That's how they become bigger. So that was the reason why, basically, why E3 is.
It's a bit ironic, right?
The plug unplug
takes over.
Yes.
The marketing and the new technology world is what kills E3, one of the hotbeds of technology
Exactly.
in itself. It's kind of speaking of AI, that's a big problem going around. You see fake ads all the time through AI.
Right.
Ahman Green, you got a lot of on-air time yourself, a lot of audio out there for anyone that really wants to. They can feel free to grab Ahman Green audio, upload
I've heard it.
I was going to say, have you encountered fake AI ads that have had either your voice, your picture with you, promoting a product that you have no actual connection to?
No, I have not yet.
Knock on wood.
I'll say that. Knock on. I got a wood table right in front of me. Yes, I'm sitting at. Yes, knock on wood. I've heard and I've seen audios, AI audio, and heard it of another person's voice. I've seen AI artwork that looks very, very creative. It looks like a Rembrandt, or it looks like what's his man, Picasso.
Okay, yeah.
It looks like their work, right? And it's AI, and it's amazingly good. But it's like, man, and like something as a faculty member, we were just talking about in a meeting just a few weeks ago, and at the start of semester, and even spring too, we introduced it as it was an okay thing for the students to use. Just use it as a guideline, but don't use it as, don't get used to using it as your work, your finished product. Like, make your edits, just say at the start of a presentation or when you hand in, hey, I use AI. It's not nothing that as faculty members that we're being taught at the J School to say, you're going to fail it. No, we're just using it as a tool here. But we have obviously some kids that use it just for the paper to get it in because the deadline is 2 days away and they never started an 18-page paper they got to get done. So then pressing it out and not making the edits and not reading over it, because we as faculty, we read the papers. We know, okay, this is not this student because I know this student. I've seen their work before. So I can, constructively say, hey, you didn't do the work here. You just punched it in. And I could tell your writing. I could tell how you punctuate this, that, and the other. So teachers, we have the opportunity to let kids know, hey, this is a tool you can use, but don't take advantage of it. And so in other ways, it's hard to when you have companies. The article came out a few weeks ago about ESPN being caught red-handed using AI to write online articles. Like, come on.
Which is just crazy. That made me upset because, we're out here, humble Lincoln, Nebraska. Shout out to DP and Rebecca. The station here is
shout out to those two.
But we're dealing with, maybe 1/10 of the resources, and you guys are using AI to write your articles. Like, what are we doing? Way too much for some AI articles to be coming out. Something that I could just ask AI myself and get that exact article. I'm glad you saw that story, because to me, I thought that what an awful look for ESPN.
Yeah, it was saw by all. Actually, it was shared in a mass group email.
Yeah.
And we all basically talked. I didn't get a chance to reply, but it was just something that it was said, basically talk to your class about this if you can. If you could squeeze it into a lecture, bring it up and see how the conversation goes. And like I mentioned, use it as a teacher. We're teaching the kids, trying to use it as a tool, because then you still learn something. We don't want you to just do something because to get a grade and then you're good, you move on. But then what did you learn? What did you get out of that? Because then when you get hired at a broadcasting company and you handed in your resume, you went through the interview process, and then when the real action happens, you're not doing your job. You're like messing up. You're not understanding what's being asked of you. And they're going to look back and say, wait a minute, this kid from University of Nebraska, they had all this stuff and remarks on their resume, references of people. What's wrong? What's going on? You said that you had experience doing this, that, and the other, and it's not showing. So that's what's going to happen. That's where you got to keep it real and say, hey, use it as a tool, but don't use it as your grade, getting that A grade or B grade, on there. And I think some teachers really admitted that some of the grades were out there with more like B plus areas. It wasn't even the A. Like, okay, then, so that just motivates you to keep to your work. Use it as a tool, basically.
Yeah, and I think that's the way that the healthy way has got to be to use it. We're seeing that a lot going down with some of like the writer's blocks, even in Hollywood, because even some of these producers right now, they can punch out a rough outline of an entire movie script, and then we'll get writers to kind of clean up the rest of it. But that's kind of a big reason why you got that writer's block even going on, because that initial rough draft is taking away so much of the work from those people. How do you see that ever balancing out? Do you think there is a realistic way for us to, I think some jobs, unfortunately, they're just going to be hard to recover as AI becomes more and more intense throughout the years. Like, how do you see that balance shaken out? And is this going to be a long process, or is this coming quicker than we think?
I believe with the AI side of it, I think it's coming quicker than we think. But how we use it as a tool, I think that's the part that within the long run, it's just going to make writers that are, I say, real to the game, be real to what you're doing as a writer. If they use it as a tool, it's just going to enhance their creativity, because we as humans are creative. We have talents that if you put us in our genius of what we're genius about, whatever our genius is about us, we all have something. It might be something silly to some people, but then when you put them in that element, it just goes. And then tag that off with somebody. So if your genius is writing, and then you tag it along with a tool of AI and you use it properly, you could think of ideas that you never ran across your brain, because now you got AI giving you just a little bit of feed, little bit of push of like, what about this? Or see this description and read it and be like, you know what, I'm gonna change this, because then it's getting you into work a little bit more. But now you have a little more efficiency to your process as a writer, because getting writer's block is a big issue, because it could be time off of time where you usually can knock something out in a couple months, when it's going to take double that, 4 months. And that's you're missing pay deadlines and stuff like that, because you are a writer, in other words, a freelancer for their whole career, because they're just bouncing from production company to production company, selling off their scripts, selling off their ideas for millions of dollars. And that's how they make a living. I have a friend whose wife is a screenwriter, and she mostly screenwrites for reality shows. And reality shows has been a very big thing in the entertainment world for a very long time. And she's, for some of the prominent shows that are out there on TV right now, she has written out plots for reality shows. And I'm like, wait a minute, time out. You're writing a plot out for a reality show? I was like, that don't sound right, because reality show is supposed to be reality, but okay.
You watch enough reality TV, it sounds right.
Yeah, I learned that a long time ago. But it was just like interesting. She sells it just like a movie script, makes her living, makes a nice living off of selling her scripts. And so,
absolutely.
When you're already a great writer, it's just like, for something in sports is a little different, but that's something I would never do. Obviously, with with using steroids or anything like that, that's kind of like an enhancement. That's what you do with as a writer. So obviously, in the sports, you can't do it, obviously, but it's kind of that enhancement to the game, to you as a writer. It's going to bring in this a little bit more things that you may not have thought about as a writer, being creative. If you're in that rut, you're in that writer's block side of it, then you could get out of it a lot easier and just being more efficient in the long run.
Yeah, it's always an interesting topic with the AI, and you're probably one of the better guys to talk to about it since you're in that world. But it's just crazy to think about. I think most people thinking about AI would think, oh man, the jobs to go first are going to be your truck drivers, your blue collar kind of point A to point B work. And weirdly enough, it's been more so the creative side is where AI is actually having a lot of success. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. I'm sure that conversation will come up more and more often as it continues. But nonetheless, we got to throw it to our final break here on the Ahman Green Show. I'm Harrison on the ones and twos. Host as always, Ahman Green streaming in. We'll talk to you guys on the other side.
Babe, pack your bags. We're going to Vegas.
Vegas?
We just got the estimate from the wedding caterer, and we're going to have to elope.
Actually, Members Owned Credit Union is offering no-fee home equity lines of credit. We can borrow what we need with equity from the house.
Wait, so we can keep the bacon-wrapped dates for the cocktail hour?
We can keep the bacon-wrapped dates. From wedding bells to trekking the globe and everything in between, capture your dreams your way with a no-fee Members Owned Credit Union home equity line of credit. Learn more at membersownedheloc.org. Limitations may apply. Equal housing lender.
'Tis the season to give the gift of Kawasaki good times at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln. With up to $3,500 off of select 2023 TRX side-by-sides and $2,000 off a 2024 Mule Pro FXT, there's no shortage of savings and good times to be had by the whole crew. Don't miss the 'Tis the Season sales event at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln. They have you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in. Offer valid through 12/31/2023. Subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchase of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates.
Southeast Community College invites you to check out our spaces ahead of your official campus visit. Our virtual campus tours let you see our campuses and learn more about our programs of study. Then you can schedule your individual visit in person or virtually. Virtual tours of our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, and our learning centers are online at southeast.edu/visit-SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting an increase in that cloud cover throughout the day. It'll be a little colder as well. We'll see a high of around 39. Tonight, cloudy skies are expected. We'll see an overnight low near 25. And tomorrow, partly sunny skies do return. We'll see a high of around 46. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleckert for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment of the Ahman Green Show. We've talked a lot about the esports portal. Surprising news in that E3 has seemingly come to an end, which was news to me considering its long tenure. You said 95, I believe, was when it originally came out. When you were a freshman at the time. We got a little bit of time here left. I'm on Green. I'm sure you've heard the constant flood of news that has been a Kool-Aid fest for Nebraska fans once again, winning the offseason, this time in spectacular fashion, at least this point early on. But what are your thoughts with just the amount of news? You had Matt Roll on Pat McAfee's show today. Fleming, wide receiver out of Ohio State, number 5-star 2020 class. Looks like he may be coming to Nebraska as well. Just 5-star on 5-star on 5-star. Who knows when this all comes to an end? But what are your just initial thoughts on the flood of positive Husker information so far in the offseason?
Well, it goes to show the I say the author at this, Matt Rule and his coaching staff, and what they've done, the product they put out there that has impressed the players out there at other universities. You know, Ohio State, Georgia, Dylan Raiola that we talked about yesterday. And now Fleming,
get Princely Umanyalan, bring him to his brother back down here in Lincoln. You know, another guy.
So
who knows?
It just that means it just says a lot about the program, because obviously 100% that some of these players know each other because they either competed against each other or went to the same high school or went to the same colleges just a few years ago, and now are like saying, "Hey, man, we got a good thing going on here in Lincoln." Coach Rule got us doing this. Our assistant coach is that. This is how we practice. This is how we did spring ball. This is how everything we going. And so when that word spreads among the players to other players at other universities because of their connections, or just being at a football camp when they're in high school, knowing and finding out another kid, and he ends up going somewhere else. And now in a situation where that kid, and he's like, look, I'm at so-and-so, or I'm at Ohio State, or I'm at Georgia, or I'm at UCLA. And I heard it's some big stuff. I watched some of y'all games. Y'all are in those games. It's just, you know what? If I come out there, I'll help out with that. I'll help with that on defense. I'll help with that on offense. So that is the beauty of transfer portal, where kids don't lose time off the field. I mean, that would hurt a player's career, no matter the sport, when they would transfer from one university to the other university. The only way it did, I say it would work in favor of the player if they were going from division to division. They were going Division II up to D1, then they will lose no time, or vice versa, D1 down to D2, then they will lose no time. They just now going to a smaller school where you hope you get a lot of field time, where big companies like, teams from the NFL, not companies, but teams from the NFL can see you play. So fantastic news. So this is, I'm pretty sure, in the back of Matt Rule's mind. I don't know where that name popped in there because of Rule. The last part.
I can't figure out where Pat came from, but nonetheless, Matt Rule, you corrected yourself.
Yeah, Matt Rule has, the way he lays out his product as a coach is projecting to people, and like people are catching wind of it. Like, wait a minute, and he's back at college now. He's doing this. He did this with Nebraska, even though, they weren't bowling. They were a competitive team to the last end of the season for them. They were fighting, grabbing, trying to win that game. And it just took one play here and there. There's multiple plays that we know. We already talked about it. But other players see that. It's like, man, I want to be on that. That team's going to get better in the offseason. They're going to have their second spring ball together and second training camp together. And now their second season kicking off the regular season in 2024. So that could lead into, you know what, man, this might be another landing spot for a multitude of players. And this is just the tip of the iceberg for Matt Rule and those players in that locker room. Matt Rule and his coaching staff and the players in that locker room. And I'm super excited to see it, to be in Lincoln, being a part of it, to see where this team can go. Because I've been, here for a couple years, just like all of us Husker fans, waiting for us to get back on that, get back up that hill. And now we're starting the journey right now.
Yeah, that's the way it seems, right? Just looking at Matt Rule, the way he's been talking, the level of, to have 4 crystal ball projections for Dylan Raiola to be headed to Nebraska, knock on wood, hasn't happened yet. We'll figure out on Sunday, most likely, while he's on his visit, along with a lot of the other players heading to Lincoln here this week on their official visits. But all the stars seem like they're aligning here a little bit. He did double down, say he wants to build this program through high school recruits, which is awesome. That's what I do want to hear. But obviously use that portal to bandage things up. You get possibly Kyle McCord, 1-year deal, gives you options there with Dylan Raiola, with Kalen if he decides to stay, because the time is ticking for him a little bit. I'd imagine he's going to be a Husker, and if he does, it'd be something where he transfers out early. But again, this is all speculation up until now. But it looks pretty good. And at the same time, you're only seeing, I think it's currently 6 Huskers in the portal. So a lot of the guys are deciding to come back. We just had Isaac Gifford and Bryce Benhart announce that they'll be back for another year at Nebraska. And of course, you can't deny that Big Red Project, that new football facility they have in there. That's a place where you can rejuvenate. You can go in there and come out in there. Oh my Lord, it is.
I'm gonna send my esports players over there. Like, bro, you need to go relax your mind. We had a tough round of Call of Duty. We had a tough round of Overwatch too. Go ahead. Just tell them Coach Green send you in there and put your name on the list.
You gotta respect that.
Overwatch, Rocket League, all of my players are gonna be over in that Lazy Lagoon. I've seen it already.
That's the one, right? The Lazy Lagoon in there.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm sure that helps the selling pitch.
I'm gonna be in there at least twice a week, if not 3 times a week. I'm just letting y'all know right now.
Well, you know where to find Ahman Green at the Lagoon, at the Big Red Project. But nonetheless, we got to get out of here. Ahman Green Show, as always. We got the Don't Pun Hour up next. Don't go anywhere.